What you're looking at right now, let's set the mood light. Gesundheit. I'm using Excel to roll dice. I'm using Excel to roll dice. What do I mean I'm using Excel to roll dice? Where are Excel's dice? Where are Excel's dice?
I don't want to know.
Say that again? Be brave. Well, they're right there. But how is Excel rolling dice? How did your TI roll dice for you? Your TI was rolling dice for you guys on Thursday, wasn't it? Ben, go ahead.
It chooses a number between 1 and 6.
And how are you going to choose that between 1 and 6, my friend?
Well, random function.
I want you to look, if you can see it, up here in this function bar. See that command right there? You see right there, ran between 1 comma 6. Right there, ran between 1 comma 6. Right there, ran between 1 comma 6. That's the command where it chooses 1 to 6 randomly between those 6 values. That's essentially what a die does. You throw a die, and it rolls, and then it settles on one of the 6 faces. Ran between generates a random number from the smallest number to the largest number. You guys used a similar command in your TIs called randint. That's the one you guys were using to generate what number you were betting on each time. Randint, randint, randint. It's the same thing, just called something different in Excel, of course, because it's definitely different. All this is right here is TI code to make sure it knows which dice to show. So right now, I'm actually going to bet on 5 each time. I'm going to bet on 5 each time. And I'm going to have this table right here to keep track of what happens every time. So watch this. I'm going to press F9. What just happened right then was I got a 1, a 2, and a 4, which means I once again lost my ante because I didn't get any 5s. I'm going to roll again. I got a 1, a 2, and a 6. Once again, I lost my ante. I'm going to roll again. I got a 4, a 1, and a 6. Once again, I lost my ante. Roll again. 2, 1, and 3. Once again, lost my ante. Roll again. Hey! 3, 4, and 5. So now I won my ante back. Notice how that bar just popped up right there? I'm going to roll again. Oh, lost my ante again. Should have bet on 3 that time, huh? Should have bet on 3 that time. Okay, right there, lost my ante. Oh, look at that. What happened this time? 2 5s and a 6. Now, this is great, except it's not. It's great, except it's not. Why?
You only get 1 back?
Because, well, and why did I only get 1? Because I'm not seeing enough trials. What's the idea of probability? What does a probability, for example, Kurt, you threw out 66% earlier for the chance of not rolling 5s. What does that mean?
I don't know.
But you do because you had a gut feeling that you lose your ante more often than you don't, correct?
Right.
So what you said was 2/3 of the time you're going to lose your ante. So you actually do have a perfect feeling for what the 66% means. 66% of the time, over time, you're going to lose your ante. Does it tell you when you're going to lose it?
No.
It just tells you you're going to lose it that percentage over time. Exactly.
Is it correct?
Let's find out. That's the thing. Kurt, we're answering that question right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the F9 button with my stapler if I can make this work. Let's find out.
As usually over time.
So what you're seeing now is you're seeing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the games. What's happened? Look, friends. Look what happened. Are we rolling 3 5s every once in a while? Yeah, look at that bar out there on the right-hand side. Rarely. Right now it's at 1% of the time. Look at the low right now. So, say that again. Say that again.
I said we're losing so many starbursts.
We're losing, on average, starbursts. Exactly, because look at the shape of this graph. Now, Kurt, it's starting to stabilize. It's not far off what you thought it was. It's not quite as good as you said it was. You said it was about 2/3. 66, it's more like 58-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. And here is the chance, which is roughly 1/3, which is pretty close to what you guys said it was going to be. So you guys actually nailed the probability of this one pretty closely, the 1/3, the 0.33. It's fairly close to that. The one you underestimated was the last one over there. The 2, getting 2 out of 3 is actually more likely. It's more likely than you think it is. And look what's happening to this guy. It's going back down. Now, why is it going back down? What happened? Why did it go from 1% now it's dropping down to it's like almost a 0.5% now?
Over time.
Say that again?
Over time.
That's the idea, Cheryl, the over time part. We saw an inordinate number of triple 5s come in the first 100 trials, Now we're beginning to see the actual likelihood. In 243, those of you taking 243 with me, and probably with Donna too, I'm not sure if she does triple luck, you'll analyze it and you'll be able to calculate the chance of rolling 3 of the number you bet on is 1 in 216, which means every 216 times you play the game, on average, you'll get the number you bet on 3 times once out of 216. Now, if you look at these numbers, we have now done 3,600. We should have 13 of these guys. We're actually a little bit on the upside, right? Excuse me, 18 of those guys. 18 of those guys. Okay, now we're at 40. We should be at about 20 right now. 20 of these. We're at 26. We're still over a little bit. But that number is starting to stabilize down by, it's about 0.005 overall, 5 in 1,000. It's still a little bit above. It's still a little tiny bit above. But the idea is you are now seeing, has the graph changed much in the past 1,000 trials? The graph has not changed much in the past 1,000 trials because the probabilities have now begun to stabilize. They've begun to settle into their actual shapes. In the first 7 and 8 rolls, it was extraordinarily hard to see what was going on because in the first 7 or 8 rolls, things are fluctuating wildly. We didn't see any 2s, we saw no 3s. We saw too many of the 0s and not enough of the 1s. So by letting it spin for 5,000 trials, you're actually beginning to see what actually happens on it overall over time. Cheryl, the overtime was the best part. Oh my goodness. And we have gone over, speaking of overtime, we have gone overtime for our break. Let's take 5, let's let this continue to run over the break. And then we'll come back and we'll see how it looks then, and we'll get our weights for our GPA.